guys, it's Michelle, and I want to welcome you to the sew along. And I want to say that I was so excited by the amount of people who wanted to actually partake in this sew along. So that makes me real all fuzzy inside. But I just wanted to say a few things before we actually started the sewing part of this process. I wanted to say, if you are new to sewing and you have at least a couple of items under your belt, I think within the 5-day time frame that we have to process to get this sewn, I think you'll be able to come through with a jacket and a nice jacket. Okay? If you're immediate and above, you won't have any trouble with making this blazer. So I did span it out the 5 days because I did want people to take time to make sure they're doing it right. If you don't know what you're doing, to get some knowledge about what it is that you need to do. If you have to step back and walk away for a minute because you're frustrated, you have time to do that, because I don't want anyone to stop the project. I want you to start it. I want us all to finish it. I want pictures at the end so that I can post these fabulous jackets, and I wanted you to have something that you can be proud of. I did want to go over a few things just to remind you, because I did say some of these things in the post. If you didn't catch all the posts, I wanted to say that I am not going to be putting the interfacing in the front lapel like I indicated, because it's not necessary, and I don't like fusible interfacing. It was bubbling and everything, so I had to take it out of this one. So I'm not going to use it in my new one. I'm going to use interfacing in this collar, and I'm not going to use interfacing in these pockets because the pattern does call for the pockets to have interfacing. And if you remember, I said I had a little different process that I'm going to do with this pocket, which is going to involve two pieces of fabric instead of the one and interfacing. And since I'm using the 2 pieces of fabric, I don't need the interfacing. Okay. Another thing on here is that I didn't do the buttonholes on my initial jacket because it didn't need it. I just put the buttons on there for show. So in this pattern, in this make, we are going to put the buttonholes where the buttonholes go. We're going to put all the buttons on the jacket, sleeves, and the front of the jacket. Okay. And also, remember I said if you wanted to alternate in fabrics or change your fabrics for the upper collar, the lower collar, or this lapel, feel free to. If you want to make it all one color, that's okay too. I'm going to make these are my fabrics that I'm going to use for my jacket. So my jacket's going to be pretty loud, and I'm using a bright yellow seam bias tape for my jacket. So it's for my daughter, and she'll be okay with that. So those are the few things I wanted to say. And let me just say one before we begin, because if you're going to read these directions, I don't want anybody to get confused. I don't want you to get to a part and you be like, no, I don't know why she did that, because it don't even say that in these directions. I don't know where she got that from. I didn't get it from anywhere. I made it. I made it up myself. So it was just a little few tweaks here and there, like the pocket thing and the interfacing, that I thought lent for a better jacket for me. If you want to go ahead and follow this pattern to the T because that's what you want to do, feel free to. I'm not going to be mad at you. But I just wanted to make sure we were aware of that, and don't forget that, because if you're reading on your own, you'll probably get to some places and be like, So a few things I wanted to make sure: you have all your pieces of fabric cut out. You have your interfacing cut out and attached to your fabric if you're using the fusible interfacing. You have marked all your fabric with the markings from the pattern. That is so important because you're going to need those markings. Especially if you are new to sewing, you should always be marking and notching everything because it'll help you. And, get your iron out and your iron board, because I don't play with my seams and with sewing. You gotta iron after you make a seam every time. And if you know me, if you've been following my blog, I did a post on that ironing, and I don't play. So if you haven't gotten all those things ready after you listen to this PSA, you can definitely get that stuff ready. And then down below this video is going to be the video where we're going to actually start the sewing process. So I just wanted to give you a little bit of information. And also, I guess I should have told you guys a little bit about myself. My name is Michelle. If you haven't read my blog, I'm a DIYer till I die. Seamstress, fashion designer, interior designer, mother of 3. I do have a full-time job. This is not my full-time job, this blog thing. And I do have a background in fashion because I did go to school for fashion design and I did go to school for tailoring. But 2000, I had stopped sewing because I was tired of sewing, and I was making clothes for people and I was tired of people. So I had stopped sewing for a lot of years, and it's been more than 20 years. In 2014 is when I'm looking at this stuff and I'm like, you know what, I can make this stuff. Why am I not sewing? Because I have the skills. I need to be sewing. So I made a pair of pants, and I've been making stuff mainly for my blog, and the majority of the stuff I make is for my daughter. I do make some stuff for myself, but you ain't gonna see that on the blog hardly because I ain't the model, she is. So I'll make more stuff for her to put up on that blog so that it represents me nicely. So that's enough about me. So you go ahead and get your stuff together, and then we're gonna rock this.